So you wanna play Dungeons and Dragons, but have no idea how it works. Or maybe you feel overwhelmed and don't know where and how to start. Whatever the reason, worry not, because I'm here to explain the essentials to you, making you ready to take on the greatest adventure you could ever imagine. In this video, I will introduce you to the basic mechanics and concepts of D&D. After the video, your D&D wings will be prepared for their first ever flight. You will fly as far as your imagination and will can take you. Are you ready? Yes, my lord. I'm ready to find the truth and offer my all to reveal it. In darkness and light. In darkness and light. And pain and bliss. Let's go back to the beginning of it all. What even is Dungeons and Dragons? It is one of the few things that make life worth experiencing. Ironically. No, but seriously, I was just kidding. D&D is a fantasy role-playing game, played using your imagination, a set of rules, and dice. Players play the game as characters of different races, occupations, and backgrounds. One can for example play as a noble dwarven soldier, a vengeful elven wizard, a devoted human cleric, or any other available race and occupational class combination. Doesn't it sound amazing? The goal for the players can be anything from defeating a tribe of trolls harassing a helpless village, to retrieving a stolen artifact from an evil sorcerer, or even something as political as stopping a conflict between two warring lands, or people. But it's not always as simple as it sounds, for along the way to the end goal, many challenges and obstacles will arise, and the players will need to overcome those. The person who sets the challenges, narrates the story, and referees the game is called a Dungeon Master. A DM. The Dungeon Master is not a player, it is the storyteller, someone who describes the world and provides information on what the characters come across along the way. The DM also controls and plays as the monsters and the characters the cast of the players encounter on their adventures. These characters, which the DM controls, are known as NPCs, meaning non-playable characters. The Dungeon Master may use a pre-written adventure module, which can be bought, or create an own one, if brave enough for that grand task. In simple terms, the DM is someone who's adjudicating the rules fairly, and whose mission is to entertain the players in their endeavors. The players control their characters, as mentioned before, and the details and information about their characters is recorded on a character sheet, like this one here. I'll make a separate video on how to create a character from scratch soon. A good reason to subscribe if you're interested. A character's race and background provides certain bonuses, while the class, in other words occupation, decides how the character is played. A warrior will be a master of martial weaponry, and a wizard will cast spells. That is their core as characters. When role-playing, a character is usually involved in either social interaction, exploration, or combat. When talking to a temple lord about bringing back a sacred artifact that's been stolen by a band of thieves, that is regarded as a form of social interaction, as well as debating what path to take to their secret hideout, or deceiving someone about where you're staying at during the night. Through gathering information, you may now know which path is the safest, and which method gives you the highest chance of retrieving the artifact successfully. Sneaking through a dense forest, enduring the cold of the mountains, climbing a wall, or swimming across a river, anything that doesn't involve talking or combat is considered exploration. And combat is combat, something that involves fighting, obviously. You enter a dark old dungeon which smells of decay. The floor is covered in bones. They crack underneath your boots with every step you take. The dungeon leads into the darkness. What will you do? Now it's the player's turn to decide what they want to do. They may choose to check for traps before they enter further, or cautiously investigate the entrance, or boldly move forward into the pitch black depths of the dungeon, or bring out a board game to lighten up the tense mood. Who knows? It's totally up to the players what they decide to do. There are no set actions for what they have to do. It is then up to the Dungeon Master to adjudicate what effect the player's action will have on the scene. If there's a chance that the action may fail, then some dice need to be rolled. Let me give you another scenario. You need to lie to a guard about a certain detail from your past to be able to enter the city. The success of an action depends on the roll of a dice, most commonly a d20, and on how good a certain character is in regards to that skill. This is called a skill or ability check, and is connected to a character's class, race, and other proficiencies. To complete the task, the DM will ask you to roll a d20 and add relevant skill bonuses, which your character possesses, to the number you roll. The total score will then be compared to the guards and the challenge challenge's difficulty. If the score equals the target number or is higher, the player succeeds in overcoming the challenge. In this case, the player's character succeeds in deceiving the guard, meaning he or she may enter the city. If a player fails a challenge, meaning the score is less than the target number, it can lead to consequences. If you climb up a tree and fail, for example, that would probably only mean that you didn't get a good grip, and may try again in the next turn. But if you're trying to dodge a stone from hitting you and fail, that would probably be a bit more impactful.
And quickly, if you roll a 20, you succeed magnificently, while a 1 means an epic failure, so much that it can have absurd consequences, like face planting instead of just losing your grip when climbing a tree, or getting stuck on the tree, while it gives you a wedgie.
The difficulty of a challenge can be revealed by the dungeon master, but is often hidden for dramatic purposes. The same process is used for combat, with a slight additional move in the beginning of the battle. At the very start of the battle, everyone who's present rolls something called initiative. This decides who goes first and who goes last. Battles are fought in rounds, and in each round, every individual gets a turn, in which he or she can do 3 things. Move around, do an action, like attacking or casting a spell for example, or do a bonus action, which is a special ability, or a super quick task. When everyone has had their turn, the next round begins, with the player who previously won the initiative roll. When attacking an enemy, a d20 is rolled, and the target number is the opponent's armor class. If the total score matches the target number, or surpasses it, the attack is deemed a success. A 20 roll is a critical hit, meaning double damage. But now, other dice are introduced. The damage you inflict depends on what type of weapon you use, as well as whatever applicable modifier you have. For a longsword, a d8 is used. The d8 roll is combined with the damage modifier to give the total damage that has been inflicted upon the enemy. If you roll a 3 and have a damage modifier of +2, the total damage to the enemy's hit points will be 5. When someone runs out of hit points, they're pretty much out, and if they don't get healed in time, they'll sadly die. Easy, right? Well, these are the basics. For a deeper understanding, be sure to subscribe for a more in-depth explanation in another video. I just need to mention that there is a possibility that you fail to deceive the city guard and instead start a fight or even get captured. The difficulty depends on the task, circumstances, and is really up to the dungeon master's judgment. Role-playing is a game of endless scenarios and actions. That's why I love it. Call me a nerd. I don't even care. When a character successfully triumphs over an enemy or accomplishes a mission, he or she is rewarded with experience points, and when the experience points reach a certain threshold, a character levels up, gaining new features, as well as powers up.
So how long is an average playing session? I'd say 2 to 4 hours. Each session is part of a campaign. You can liken the campaign to a season of a series, for example, where each session equals an episode.
Well, that's about it. You should be ready to spread your D&D wings now. If you feel motivated and are eager to try D&D out, you should get the Player's Handbook. It contains all the information you need to begin playing. Or you can check out my video on how to play Dungeons & Dragons for free, without buying anything. Yeah, that's right. You heard it. It's totally possible to play this amazing game for free. Wizards of the Coast, the creators of D&D, have actually made that possible by offering a basic rules book, including character sheets, a digital dice roller, and much more, totally for free for those of you who want to try it out. The basic rules book may not have as many options as the Player's Handbook, but it's honestly more than enough to experience the amazing world, or worlds, of D&D. Check out my video for a complete explanation on how to get access to everything. Links will of course be available in the description box below. If you have something to add, have any questions, or want to suggest a topic to cover, just leave a comment in the comment section. And if you enjoyed what I had to share with you, please leave a like. I would greatly appreciate that. Be sure to subscribe if you want to learn more about role-playing and storytelling. I really mean it. I have some juicy content planned. I might even begin streaming sessions and podcasts if there are enough people interested. Anyway, share the video to convert some people to the world of D&D, and click that freaking notification bell to be the first one to know when a new video is up. Thanks for watching.